So, Daredevil. I haven't read a lot of Daredevil. I guess I better start reading some Daredevil because this stuff is actually really pretty good. And I'm really liking Chip Zdarsky's run, but I haven't read the old stuff. Pretty good. Maybe we should give it a try. Welcome back to Longbox Diving, where we explore comics and story arcs pulled from the Longbox. Now, we will be reviewing the Daredevil story arc called Fall from Grace, and it runs from Daredevil 320 to Daredevil 325. And this was written by D.G. Chester, and Scott McDaniel did the art. Now, to be honest, I've only started reading Daredevil under Zdarsky's run, and I actually have really been enjoying it. So, when I came across this bunch out of a pull, I got in a shoebox with a stack, and I was kind of interested. Hey, I'd like to do a run on this. I haven't read it. I'd like to maybe read it fresh, do a review, and so there is no nostalgia. Maybe I'll have to preserve. If you saw my last set of reviews of Extreme X-Men, you understand what I'm talking about. So I can just read it fresh and go through it and see what I like and what I don't like. So we start out in 1968. And there's 22 glass bottles that are broken all along the New York subway system. And there's a 23rd bottle that apparently was left and didn't actually break. And then we see the 22 of the people who threw the bottles and broke them actually work for the Pentagon in some way. And they are now being picked off one by one. Killed by somebody, General King Coy, I believe. We flip back to the present. We see Daredevil battling this dude named the Crippler. This dude's weird, man. Apparently he likes pain. He's into pain. So this dude's crazy. He just likes to break and make pain, himself included. He likes pain on himself. So more power to him. But we see him break Daredevil's arm, which smashes it. Looks really gnarly. And we get some pretty good panels of the fight scene between Daredevil and the Crippler. And so there's a good picture right at the end of the fight where Daredevil's standing over the Crippler's body. And that was very cool looking. The old costume all torn up. He looks all messed up. You see some acrobatics through it. It's really pretty good. I enjoyed it. And then we get some weird panels of some dude's memory who thinks he was the president, and he linked to Elektra in some way. I'm not sure what all that's about yet. I think maybe there's a prequel or something I missed. I don't know what, but okay, so we keep reading, and then we see this ugly villain who is taking control of this weird dude. And I think he's a villain, but I'm not exactly sure yet. So this book appears to be just laying some groundwork here. We see a lot of different things happening. Every couple of pages, we're flipping to something else. And we get a couple of pages of people on top of a mountain that apparently few people climb. And we even see bones of dead body, skeletals up through the snow. And this group appears to want to kill Elektra for some reason. Now, honestly, they all look like Yetis to me. I'm not sure that they're actual Yetis. I'm not sure what Yetis have against Elektra, but they look like Yetis. And it could be just people dressed up in really furry, white, bulky clothes. But I think they're Ninja Yetis. Because a lot of ninja weapons, they look like Yetis, and they're talking about killing Elektra. I think they're Ninja Yetis, and they're up in the snow. The one thing I do have to say, I do not like all this blank space. I think it's pretty cheap, and I think it's a cheat. Fill that page up, man. All right. So, now, Daredevil takes the Crippler and throws him through his boss's window, Silver Sable. Silver Sable apparently has sent the Crippler to do something to find somebody named Eddie. I don't know how that works out yet. Again, I think I missed something. But he actually sent and put a piece of tape over the Crippler's mouth saying, hey, let it go. And he threw him through Silver Sable's window. Now, he rips the thing off and he's like, oh, that hurt. Do it again. Weird dude. Weird. All right, now, here Silver Sable is kind of drawn. I'm not a big fan of the way she's drawn here. It looks unfinished. But that's not to say I hated it. It looks unfinished. So Daredevil then ends up back at his girlfriend's house, apparently talking about how they're just friends now, and he's looking all beat up, and he turns the light on, and she comes over, to help him with his injuries, and she's nursing him back, right? And Daredevil grabs her hand in some intimate moment, and I'm like, what? And then we get these. And I'm like, what the crap is this? Look at Daredevil's face. He looks like half his face was burnt off. I know he was just in a fight with Crippler. I didn't see any I mean, there was some flames going around, but I didn't see that he got it. He looks like half his face, like third-degree burns. The man needs to go to the hospital. And she looks, honestly, like a doll. She doesn't really look like she has a face at all. Needless to say, not a big fan of that part of the art. So Daredevil goes to talk to somebody about a guy named Eddie. I'm not sure who this Eddie is yet. I think he may be the president. I'm not sure, but he's probably from a previous storyline, and so I will skip it, and then we'll go on. Silver Sable comes leaping through a window, through the door, and starts attacking Daredevil. And she's throwing all these knives. And Daredevil's leaping everywhere, missing all the projectiles. And it was a great line. Silver Sable said, he's like, "Hey, nobody can dodge all those." And he's like, "Guess again." I mean, he was able to dodge them all. And this was just a great fight scene. Daredevil's dodging all this stuff, and then he surprises her. He hits her and knocks her out the window, and he grabs the curtain, and now they're fighting with this curtain, and she's got a knife, and he's got a curtain, and they fall down into the back of a truck, and then she gets the curtain around his neck, starts choking him out, dumps him off the back of the truck, and he gets dragged along. And the dude driving the truck, and this actually made me laugh a little bit. He says, "I'm moving back to Connecticut." This was a much better picture of Silver Sable and in the way she's drawn here, and I like this a lot better. Excuse me. Now, it's still not the way I would like it, but it's a lot better than it was earlier with the way that she's portrayed. Now, he is trying to convince her that she's on the wrong side of whatever's going on here, but she is a mercenary, and she gets paid to do a job, so she will need proof before she just changes what she's doing. I get that, and that makes sense to me. And that is her character, from what I remember. So that plays very well for me. And again, I am not sure exactly who they're talking about here with this Eddie. I think it's the president guy. I think they're talking about the virus in some way. But keep moving on with the story, because it's building to something here. Then we see somebody named Sarah Harrington, who appears to be a journalist, I think. And she's hacking some systems. And she's able to find a piece of information that actually shows that Matt Murdock is Daredevil's secret ID. And now, this is not the big story yet. So she's still digging into that, and that's going to come into play somewhere, I'm sure. I don't know where yet. Then we see Eddie, and the man looks crazy. He's got the long hair, looks like he's been living on the street for a while. The graying, he's older. And that he says he believes the general is trying to kill him. Now, we see the general earlier killing all these, well, we assume it's the general, killing off everybody that had helped release this virus. I'm still not sure what the virus does, but he believes that this dude is trying to kill him. So Daredevil tries to help him, and he starts getting flashes in his head. I don't know why. And we do find out later, but I don't know why here when I was reading it. So then Eddie looks really scared and runs off. And then we get this nice blast page. There's Daredevil standing there. And there's a demon behind him, like a real demon. And Daredevil has no idea that it's there. Very cool looking. So we flip over to issue 321. And I actually did like this cover really well. The cover has, some rough texture to it. Daredevil has like a skeletal hand on top of the demon's head, which is the demon from the splash page. It looks really pretty cool. And I like it. So we pick back up. Daredevil's in his apartment, and the demon is standing in his window, and you actually see his claws into the window, and he's crushing stuff. And Daredevil is looking at a new uniform. Now, I don't honestly know if this is the first appearance of this uniform. He was wearing the red one earlier, and now there's like this blackish red with red highlights and stuff. So I'm not sure if this is the first appearance of this uniform or not. Somebody needs to let me know. Let me know in the comments. Just, hey, no, this is something he's had before. All right, but we see a nice full page spread of the demon following Daredevil out the window. And he's still not noticed. No, Daredevil still hasn't figured out this dude is following him. And the panel looks, in this panel here, where we see them jumping through balconies and off balconies and flipping off gargoyle statues and stuff like that. This is just a really cool layout, and I can actually feel the movement of what's going on here in this panel, and I like that. That looks cool to me. Then we flip over to this warehouse, and Venom shows up. I don't know why Venom's here. I think it has to do with the virus again. but he was attacking something in there for some reason. But he is there. Venom's there, and these panels just really made me laugh. Like, you know, it's Venom. You know, like, guns don't kill people. People kill people. Let me show you. And he just like reached into the guy's face. Just crazy. So then we're back into General King Koi's office, and somebody is throwing ninja stars at him. And he gets up and he grabs a weapon and he's like, you know, let's take your best shot. So apparently General King Koi is a ninja or some sort of martial arts trained ninja, and he's being attacked by some sort of ninja. But we'll find more out about that later. So we see Eddie busting into the general's office, and he has like a Molotov cocktail, but he says it's a mix of napalm. And he's getting ready, he's going to throw it in there, but the general's already gone. But Daredevil shows up, and then we see that new uniform again. That looks really good. So Eddie throws a bomb at Daredevil to run and then leave. Daredevil grabs it out of thin air, does some backflips, lands in front of him, and the guy's like, "How did you do that?" It's like, "Well, you know, practice, man." So Daredevil starts talking to him. "Hey, I want to help you, but I need to know what's going on." And Eddie starts projecting these mental telepathic images, and it's really like hitting Daredevil pretty hard, right? And he's like, you know, jerking back, and he's like, "Hey, dude, you need to chill out with the mental stuff. You know, it's hurting people." And Daredevil sees that, you know, the woman. He goes, "Hey, who is that woman that you see?" And Eddie's like, "That's the woman I love, and I'm trying to find her and something with the virus." And Daredevil's like, "Hey, start explaining to me what's going on." Well, at the same time, Daredevil is starting to become like a detective, and he's feeling the fibers of the carpet, and he's seeing he smells the blood, and he knows that the general has fought somebody and took some damage, but he's not enough to actually put him down. And he starts feeling the walls, right? And he feels the different indents and the marks on the walls, and he realizes one of them comes from a psi, which means Elektra, right? And he's taken aback for a second. What in the world does Elektra have to do with this? And he says her name, Elektra Naknos, right? And we see the demon then follows Daredevil through the window in on Daredevil and Eddie. Now, Daredevil still can't see this demon, even with his radar sense, and he tries to, you know, throw that baton, right? And he's trying to throw it based on the demon's voice, and it actually misses and causes a ricochet, and actually hits Daredevil in his own face, and knocks him down. And the demon jumps on Eddie, and he says, "Hey, I'm looking for that unbroken bottle of the virus. Apparently, it should release the demon in some way, make him human." I'm not sure what this is, if that's what it is, or what it does, or how it relates to that. But that's interesting to me. You know, it's like, oh, okay, so now we got this demon after the virus. We got Silver Sable after the virus. We've got Kinroy after Eddie to kill him. Eddie seems to be the only one that knows where the virus is, and Daredevil's into the mix, trying to figure out what's going on. So Daredevil then tries to target the area above Eddie. He sees Eddie tangling with something, fighting with something. So he tries to target the area above Eddie, still can't see the thing on radar sense, jumps toward it, and misses completely. And so Daredevil's there, and he's like, you know, I've got to figure out how to hit the demon. If you can't hit the demon, how are you going to fight the demon? So he starts noticing that the demon smells exactly like Daredevil. And so he targets himself, knowing that he can't be in two places at once. And I actually thought this was this was really pretty cool. So, you know, you can't see it. He can't, with his radar sense, he can't tell where it's at. He can't follow it by sensing the voice. He literally has to smell himself to figure out where this thing is. And that was really pretty cool to me. So he's giving it to the demon, right? And the demon starts heating up physically. And you can see it in the radar sense of Daredevil. And he jumps out the window and he's able to escape. We then flip over to S.H.I.E.L.D. And apparently S.H.I.E.L.D. is monitoring the whole thing. And they are talking about this rogue agent, John Garrett, who apparently was turned into a cyborg. So I'm not sure exactly how this plays in, but I think this is the guy who thinks he's president that was also taken by the bad dude in the first issue that is tied to Elektra in some way. So now we want, Nick Fury wants John Garrett. And he's called this other dude. I don't know who this guy is. I don't recognize his face. If anybody, again, if you know this dude, let me know. Of course, I'll probably find out in the next issue. But, hey, cool, let me know. So he thinks this guy, he's going to send this guy after John Garrett. Now, everybody, John Garrett, we got Eddie. Now, every time I think I got a handle on what the writer and where the writer's going, he kind of swerves a little bit on me. And actually, I like that. So I like that a lot. So now this guy is tagged to find Garrett, who is as we see strapped to a table, surrounded by a bunch of people. And they're discussing Garrett's connection to Elektra. And they want Elektra's essence, and so they're talking, well, we got to get Elektra's essence from this dude, and then we got to get this virus because we want to create a new Shadow Warrior. So I guess the next step for them is to find Elektra and make the Shadow Warrior. I don't know who the Shadow Warrior is. I don't know who these guys are, but I can tell you, I'm liking it. So far, so good. Issue 320 has some art issues for me. I'm not a big fan of Dead Space, and there seems to be a lot in this stuff, but it's not too bad. Issue 321, the art was much better. Still gritty, but not really my style. It's okay. I mean, the art's pretty. There's some really cool scenes, some cool splash pages. It works, but the story is intriguing. I can't really wait to see what happens next. The writer swerves here and this. There's always something new going on. We got this reporter. We've got Nick Fury. We got this dude hunting Garrett. Garrett's got these bad guys who are trying to make this warrior. Everybody's after this virus. Eddie knows where the virus. Colonel, Elektra, Daredevil. It's just all this stuff is going on, and I like that. It's a good mix. It's a good story like that where I'm gonna keep me intrigued, keep me interested. So I can't wait to read the next one, and we'll do another review on that soon. So I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. It really does help this channel grow. And we'll see you next time here in the Long Box.